Hey, welcome everybody. How's everybody doing today? We're here for another episode of the Insider Gaming News post E3. I'm really excited because we got a lot of different stuff to talk about today. My God, like so much has happened like that since last week. I mean, a lot of us we saw a lot of our E3 coverage during the weekend and some on Monday, covering a lot of the biggest conferences that were out there. And my God, there was so much happening there. It was just insane.
Oh yeah,
man. So, Captain, you got to work at E3. How did you feel about it working with Ubisoft?
Yeah, it was an incredible opportunity. I got to work with Ubisoft, and I was pretty much like my main job was like to help people like press media influencers like capture and record gameplay. So I did that a lot, but they really liked me, so they kind of bumped me up to be like a team leader, and I was like floating around, and I worked the show floor, and I was like training people on capturing software and stuff like that. So I did a lot in the span of just a couple of days that E3 was there, but it was really awesome, very rewarding. It was awesome to see like a behind the scenes look of how these developers operate, how these companies operate, and stuff like that. So yeah, it was awesome, and I got to play a lot of the Ubisoft stuff, so that was cool. I guess we'll talk more about that when we talk about Ubisoft.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, there's quite a bit. So one of our topics today was we've got the we heard about Boss Key Studios shutting down. I think it was last month, and then now Lawbreakers has finally got its official end date. So it's shutting down in September, which is kind of unfortunate. Like, the game had a lot of potential. I just don't think it was marketed very well. But it's free to play up until the time it shuts down, which is, kind of unfortunate. But still, if you guys ever want to experience what Lawbreakers was like before it shuts down, now's the chance to try. I mean, I think it's going to be up till a good chunk in September 14th. So there's quite a bit of time to play. I mean, it was already kind of a semi-dead game already. Like, I think the Steam charts for it were up like in the teens or 20s before even their announcement of it shutting down.
Yeah, as soon as they saw those numbers drop, they should have made it free to play like right then and there.
Oh yeah. So like, while it was still in decline, not when it was like dead, or essentially dead.
Yeah. I really like Cliffy B and a lot of like his games. I love Gears of War. I think he just has like a really unique style. I just feel like something about his time with Boss Key just felt kind of weird. Like, instead of like creating new ideas, like Gears just felt so new in the horde mode. Like, everybody did horde mode in the cover based system, although that was done before. Same with horde. I feel like Gears just really perfected it. But with Lawbreakers and then with like Radical Heights, they're just kind of games that were copying the other games that were kind of coming out at that time.
Yeah. It was kind of weird. Like, he's done really good when he's with big studios where I think he's got a better team behind him. But I think that team was too new and too rookie to be able to handle what they had. Oh man, Mia. Well, what's going on, Mia? How you doing? Long time no see. And then the next thing too, so kind of a big topic. It's not necessarily pertains to gaming, but it's going to affect us all over time until the Senate figures out what they're going to do, because they did reverse the repeal in the Senate, but it didn't get to the office in time, basically. So net neutrality got shut down in the U.S. This week too. Happened actually right. They made the announcement during E3, which was unfortunate. And yeah, I'm hoping we're not going to see a bunch of price gouging from companies in the meantime, while that still isn't. Supposedly, it still can be done, like reversed. It takes time, like everything else does. And that was already on a clock, basically, to get turned over. So that was unfortunate. Not really happy about net neutrality going away, because that just means it gives more companies a means to price gouge the crap out of you. And
wait, is that actually happening?
Yeah,
I thought that was getting repealed.
It was, but it didn't make it all the way to sign it to make it a bill. And basically, the other one was already on a timer to get done, and it happened on the timer that it was supposed to get done. They just didn't make it in time, but they still can do it. It's just going to take more time.
So you guys are, yeah, that's terrible.
The good thing about it though is that's going to take time to actually become a thing, like net neutral, the net neutrality to become a thing. So there's still time to, repeal that and bring it back. So hopefully we can do that. But yeah,
it's serving as a utility is much better. I mean, yeah, granted they can't charge as much for it and stuff like that, but that's a good thing. Like we don't want companies like, especially Comcast. Comcast is the worst for doing this too, is like jacking up their prices and doing all kinds of crazy stuff for it. But yeah, that was an unfortunate thing that happened this week. Another interesting thing is during E3, Cyberpunk 2077, during their glitch trailer, or their cinematic trailer, they hid in plain sight 16 copies of the Witcher 3 Game of the Year edition for Xbox, like right in plain sight. It was kind of a cool thing. The guy was first person that noticed it, said, "Hey, look at this! I just got a free Game of the Year edition of Witcher," because the studio behind it is the Witcher 3 group that's working on Cyberpunk. So I thought that was really cool. Like they had a bunch of little stuff that was in there. Like you could see where it was at too, in parts of it.
It was only 16. I felt like that thing was like scrolling so fast.
Well, it repeated at a point.
Oh, okay.
So it was like the same text, but it was like doing the glitch part, so it repeated it another time, like it was like an error. So it's showing like error codes, basically. It was kind of cool. So something different. Like I don't think I've ever seen a company do that. There was a lot of we'll get to the E3 news, but man, there's a lot of companies that really pulled it out this year, for sure.
Yeah, CD Projekt, they're so humble. I really love those devs, and like even the messages that they have with like The Witcher and even now Cyberpunk, talking about no DLC or all DLC is supposed to be free, this and that, and no microtransactions in the game. Like that's awesome. Like they really know how to treat their fans and whatnot.
Oh yeah, that's another problem we'll have to get into here in a little bit, which actually I don't think I even put in our notes. The next news is Friday the 13th. All content for Friday the 13th is basically stopped, which unfortunately includes the game, which was already kind of doing hit or miss. It wasn't really doing a whole lot in terms of like crazy numbers anymore. Like on the consoles, it was still pretty big. The PC community has more or less died because of the issues.
Was that game where it was like Dead by Daylight and all that stuff?
It's basically Dead by Daylight with Jason, but more counselors, like more
teenage counselors, and
yeah. So more other players can go against Jason than just the other, which is pretty good because you can really fuck with Jason, like if you do it right with all the counselors. Get him to go in like different places and everybody's all spread out, but
that's implying that people work together, which never happens.
That's true. I mean, unless you got a group going in, that's a different thing. But basically, one of the producers, it's the producer and director of the original film, and he was continued on as a producer of most of the other films. Basically, said he was only on as a contract basis and never got paid appropriately for the franchise, so he's suing him for the entire IP. So the entire IP is now under lockdown because of this, which includes the game. It wasn't originally including the game. and then the game got brought up, and now it was included. So now they can't make any content updates until this lawsuit is settled, which I feel by the time it's probably going to kill the game at that point. I mean, games, especially like this, rely on regular content updates, and the only thing they can do is optimization updates until everything is done. Like, they can't add anything new. They can't, even if it was the stuff they agreed on before, they can't even add it. They can't do anything with it, which is unfortunate. So they're completely locked behind that. Like, even the new Friday the 13th movie is actually being held up because of this. Like, it's insane how much stuff under IP is being done. So the content that was held up on Friday the 13th ended up being the Uber Jason with the Grendel map, Jason killer packs, clothing emotes, and the new counselors, which is kind of unfortunate. I mean,
lawsuits take forever, so it's not like that's going to be like a short play.
Yeah, and even by the time that's done, it's going to kill everything off in that process. So everything's like, basically, I for all intents and purposes, I don't plan on ever seeing anything Friday the 13th for quite a long time. Just unfortunate.
No, that's going to be fucking forever, man.
Yeah.
That's really sad because I really liked that game too. Like at launch, it was a buggy mess. There wasn't a lot of content, but it was really fun to like get your friends together and mess around and like role play. One of the things that really killed that game for me was just how toxic the people were.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how that happened either, but like the community in that got like toxic in like 2.5 seconds. In fact, I think that's actually the quickest I've ever seen a community get toxic too.
It's still really bad. Like I played, like for my sub Sunday, I played again because someone requested it, and I had to hop off it real quick because it was so bad.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Like, the game itself doesn't really promote it, which is kind of weird. It's just the people in it that just played it, and I think it usually starts with toxic streamers that go and play stuff like that, and then we'll bring that kind of community in, and those people will end up staying in there. The streamer may not play it as much anymore or something like that, but it felt like that one was getting pushed off quite a bit because of it. But it's unfortunate. Actually, I want to skip the Microsoft one until last. So let's talk about Epic accounts, Fortnite. Another always hot topic, it seems like these days. So during E3 conference, they announced that Fortnite was coming to Switch. And everybody's excited and everything. I think it was like, in total, it was 2.5 million downloads by the time E3 had ended.
Yeah.
From the time they
crazy.
Actually announced it, it was insane.
Yeah.
And so people that were playing on Sony or on PlayStation were getting their accounts locked to PlayStation and couldn't transfer over their stuff. So they were like, I'm trying to play on Switch. I used to play on PS4, and they try to go and they're like, it's locked. They're like, what the hell, Sony? This is not your account to keep. Why are you trying to do this? So everybody's in an uproar because, like, Sony, even to this day, still refuses to be one of the cross-platform platforms. Like, everybody else has accepted it. Quite literally, everybody else. Fortnite plays cross-play with every other device except for PS4.
It's kind of the way of the future.
Yeah.
What, Sony?
It should be.
Crossplay.
Oh, yeah. Crossplay. Crossplay has to happen. I mean, it's a third-party developer putting a game on your console. Like, to me, that would be like ammunition for these people to be like, you know what? You want us to start excluding our games from your platform if you're not going to allow us to do crossplay? That would be like probably one of the most legitimate threats they could put on there. Granted, the platform will make them tons of money, but it's a sacrifice they should be willing to make for the players, I think.
You would think.
To me, this is just really stupid. Like the whole crossplay thing, I still will never understand. It's really dumb. But the fact that they lock your Epic account, which is not even a PlayStation thing, and they lock it to your PS4, like, that's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
like, you can't transfer it over to Xbox or Nintendo Switch when it's an Epic account, not even a PlayStation account.
Yeah, and that's the only account apparently that I know of that they do it with too, which is really weird. So they're like, they want people to go and spend more money on their platform. But Sony has historically, only Sony has been in the lead in this generation. Every previous generation they've been behind, at least in terms when Xbox has been in play. When the original Xbox launched, Microsoft pulled ahead really quick. When it was PS3 and Xbox 360, Xbox 360 led the entire generation. only partially because PS3 was just such a piece of garbage to work on, and it was like the development costs for that game or that console were for games for it were astronomical compared to most of the other ones. So it was kind of insane. But yeah, like they shouldn't be locking. I personally don't think they should be locking anybody's accounts that's not theirs to their PlayStation 4. Like if they're coming in just to log in and have a universal thing, which is why they intended to do it, then cool. Like let it be as it's intended. Like be for everybody, But they're not. They're trying not to do that, which is it doesn't make any sense. And they still apparently haven't released anybody's accounts, which is very unfortunate. Like it's just gonna all these people that spent money and wanted to have all these skins or anything like that, or even bought like the original edition, like the full-fledged Save the World edition, they're locked to that console, which is unfortunate.
That seems kind of dumb.
Yeah, it's very dumb.
Choose and I said the PS consoles dominated. Yeah, they dominated tiles a lot. Yeah, in the past, but they still have like I said, like the especially the 360 generation, which was the longest console generation so far. They didn't dominate that one at all. And PS2, they lost that market really quick because of the original Xbox. So it's kind of an interesting one. Which we're actually our next topic, which is kind of starting into our E3 news for this week. We saw a huge push, like a lot of the different companies that came into E3 and doing their presentations and stuff. So far, I still think right now that Microsoft really brought it. Not just in terms of like the games and stuff they brought, but for the fact that they're tripling down on their future, basically. And they're really putting that investment towards to actually like build a product that everybody wants, and they've realized that they have to do that now. I mean, they didn't bring in a whole lot in terms of first-party titles, but the first-party titles we did hear about are all something everybody wanted. There was a lot of welcome surprises in that. Like nobody assumed a new Gears was coming. Some people speculated there might have been, but there was no actual leaks or anything of it. And yeah, so they're actually like tripling down on their future. Like they bought up as part of their announcements is they bought up 4 companies, I believe, in total, and starting up 5th. So they've got a lot of new content that's coming in terms of like first party titles, which is good for the future. It doesn't help us right now, but a lot of these companies that they bought already have just recently, I think within the last year, have released a title on Xbox. So I think that's pretty cool. I think it's something that's good to look forward to. Same thing with their streaming service Mixer. They've tripled the budget for them. Like in fact, I've already seen like a huge surge in job postings for Mixer, which is good. It's a sign they're actually really dedicated. It's change you can see. It's not just, oh hey, we're gonna do this thing and it's gonna come later. No, like you can actually see them already investing in that. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff there. I'm really excited for that.
This is incredible news from Microsoft, because I feel like for the last generation Xbox 360, they kind of floated by on Xbox Live, and Xbox Live was awesome and all the things that brought. But even then, they didn't really have many exclusives. They had like those kind of time exclusivity deals like Call of Duty and stuff like that. But they just mainly had Gears and Halo. But Xbox Live really carried them. And then when they got to this generation, of course, we all know that PlayStation just pretty much destroyed them. I mean, they're still doing good, but they're not doing PlayStation good. So I think for them to make this announcement is awesome, to know that the future is secured, or hopefully secured, and they're trying to get the PlayStation quality exclusives. I'm really excited for that. This is one of the things that really made the Microsoft conference awesome.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, no, there's like, yeah, it's Sony and Microsoft like really like, it's good because challenges like this really push innovation. They push the markers where everybody can go. So it's always a good thing that they're realizing they can't do that anymore. They really need to do it with the first party titles. I mean, we've already seen how much that's made a big difference now with all the first party titles that Sony's been releasing lately. And every time they do, Xbox does release a good first party title, they notice that difference in sales. So I think they really have to triple down on that, notion that they gotta get themselves in there now. But yeah, you're right. Like with the 360 generation, like Xbox Live was substantially better than
Oh my
the
God,
PlayStation Network on
yeah.
PS3. I mean, even now, I mean, Live stays up more often than PlayStation Network. I mean, look at we go back in the first year that um, PlayStation 4 was out, and they had a whole month. I think it was like a whole month where their PSN was down. It was sometime a few years back.
Yeah, I remember that.
I still
They're,
prefer the PlayStation over the Xbox. I like their dashboard. Like, other than the fact that they got hacked that one time and all your information was also free.
Yeah, God, I
That
remember that. That was crazy.
was like
And
the
that
big
was that
meme
was
joke at
like,
the time. Is people were like, "Well, you got to pay for
yeah.
Xbox Live, but you know what else is free on PlayStation? Your information."
And I remember during that time, I think like SOCOM came out, and then that Mad
Slowcom, yeah.
game. Yeah, and like those were supposed to be like big titles for them, but no one could play them online, and they really suffered because of that.
Yep.
and I love the SOCOM series. I really wish they would bring that series back. Like that was such a
Yeah.
fun series.
The only thing I really loved about it was the proximity chat that you could talk to the other team.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, like I remember playing that game with my buddies, and my buddy was like this specific one time. We were like sitting down an alleyway, and he's like, "Do you think they're down there?" I'm like, "Hang on, let's see." And I like yelled down the hallway. I was like, "Hey, fuck you!" And the guy's like, "No, fuck you!" And I'm like, "Yep, they're there."
That's awesome. I didn't even know it had that. That's cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't even realize that either. That's pretty awesome though.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get into our top story, which actually is a bunch of top stories because it's our E3 post show kind of talk about all the stuff that kind of came out. Like we're gonna go kind of in order of the presentations that came out, and yeah, starting with EA. EA was our very first show. So what did you guys? How did you guys feel about how EA dropped it this year?
This is probably their worst, in my opinion. This was terrible. It was really, really sad.
I think I think if they had just not included that Command and Conquer bullshit, and I say this openly, Sony, I hope you're listening. I mean, EA, I hope you're listening. Fuck that Command and Conquer game. Like, take that garbage back and replace put back the sanctity of Command and Conquer and put it back into a franchise that actually works on a game and a platform that actually works, not some crappy mobile game.
They need to make a new Generals. That's what they need.
Yeah. Or even just CNC 5. Make a CNC 5 or any of the other ones, any of the last big titles. Like, they haven't had an actual Command and Conquer game in quite some time now, and I feel like it's a perfect time to do it.
Dude, if that shit was not was compatible with Windows 10 at all, I still have the disc for Command and Conquer Generals. I would play that, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Game was amazing.
Oh yeah.
I feel like EA didn't really need a conference. Like they could have just made like little video announcements or even like a live stream, like a small live stream announcement for some of the stuff. Like it just felt like a total waste in my opinion.
And in reality, they really could have just expanded on the games that they had announced and kept that Command and Conquer Rivals as like a commercial somewhere that nobody wanted to know about, basically. Like that thing, that was like a painful 20 minutes of the conference, just sitting there watching. Like, I'm like, are we serious right now? Is this really happening? Like, me and Lava were looking at each other like, dude, is they're really gonna show this for 20 minutes? Like, what? Like, everybody, and you could see it in the crowd's face. Like, everybody's like, fuck off with this shit. Like, excuse my French, but it was just, yeah, it was just like, no, get out of here. We don't want this. Just take that. Just go. On top of that, aside of the Command & Conquers thing, a lot of the cool stuff that I saw I really liked. Battlefield 5 I'm actually more stoked about this time, more so than ever, because it's the first time that Battlefield's not going to have a premium pass.
Yeah.
All the DLC is free. The only thing, like, I think the only thing that you could buy is cosmetics, which is just gun skins, basically.
Yeah.
And that's it. Which is pretty much all Battlefield 1 is now. Battlefield 1 has a lot of stuff in there, but it's just gun skins. And then you could get, like, you can unlock little parts to get, like, the special melee weapons, but they don't do anything more or less special than some of the other ones, more, for the most part. So there's nothing special about them. Their Origin Access is getting an upgrade, which is kind of cool. They're getting a premium version, which includes, basically it's the same as Game Pass or Microsoft Game Pass. Anytime they get a new game, you have the Premier Edition, you get those games for free to play right from early access days. So you get that extra 10 days for free. And you get to keep on playing, and it's not just a 10-hour trial like you were getting before.
Are people still freaking out about the prosthetic arm and the females in Battlefield, or is that kind of finally calmed down?
So that was actually another thing. So in Reddit, in the subreddit for Battlefield 5 or V, because I guess apparently it's not technically 5, it's Battlefield V, because 5 is actually reserved for a futuristic or a modern day one. But
oh, thank God.
Yeah. That they've actually started banning and blocking all posts related to historical accuracy. It's literally blocked on that subreddit now. If you go in there and do it, you're automatically blocked and banned from that subreddit.
That's awesome.
So that is,
like we said before, man. Like, when have you ever played a video game for historical accuracy? Like, when have you been like, man, I really need to brush up on World War II. Better fire up Battlefield.
Yeah, and it's got to the point where the devs are like, you know what? Like, we're doing this is historically accurate. Shut up. Just shut up. Like, they put their hands up. There's a couple of posts about it this week. Yeah, it's just had enough of it. They don't want to, or DICE has had enough of it. They don't want to hear it anymore, like, about this historical
Rightfully
accuracy.
so, too, man. Like, there's so many other things you could be complaining about with a video game.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a shit if there's chicks in there that have... And the thing that drives me nuts is, like, watching everybody, like, dissect it, and they're like, oh, they're going with a steampunk thing. Like, dude, that's just a regular prosthetic, like, hook arm.
Yeah, there's nothing special about that.
Like, it's not run by steam, it's not mechanical, it's not... You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah. Aside of that, we got a lot of course, the normal slew of the sports titles, which most people were expecting because we always hear about the sports titles at E3. Battlefront 2, as much as a burning pile that was when it first came out, they've actually announced they revamped everything, which they did. They did this actually a few months ago, and are adding regular content updates and everything for Battlefront 2 in terms of the updates are all free too, which is awesome. So you don't actually have to worry about it. The other big announcement is Unravel 2 came out the same day that they announced it, and it was just a nice little $20 co-op game, which is really cool, kind of a cutesy game. And then Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was kind of announced. It was kind of weird. So Frank Zampanella, the guy that runs Respawn Entertainment, who does Titanfall, they announced that they're doing the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, but they couldn't say what, other than it's coming holiday next year. So I fully expect we're going to see a lot of that stuff next year at E3, which is going to be really exciting. The only thing I'm kind of getting tired of hearing about, though, in terms of the Star Wars game is why do they keep going to that era between 3 and 4? There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
like
man.
they just keep going that era. Yes, it's a big era, and there's a lot of stuff that happened there. But between episodes 3, like Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, like they've already. There's so many books, so many different things, like comics. There's all kinds of stuff that go into that in between time. I kind of wish they would just stick with either go and give more fleshed out on the new stuff, or go back way before and kind of stick with some of that stuff. But they're really trying to stick around the episodes, which is kind of weird.
I feel like that's why KOTOR is so beloved, because it was really exploring a time period that like really is not explored in Star Wars lore. So I do hope that they like go back in time and before all these movies and stuff. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and the other big title that was EA's big thing was Anthem, and I don't know about you guys, I am fucking super stoked about Anthem because
I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's still a long way out. Like shit could remember The Division when it first came out, like the first previews and stuff, where people were like sending in drones on their iPads and everything was super awesome, and then when it was actually released was super different.
Yeah.
So I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but right now it looks amazing.
Yeah, right now it looks amazing. Yeah. Like it's fulfilling every person's Iron Man dreams, basically. And you're playing it kind of like Destiny style with like an ever-changing world and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool.
The awesome thing about this game that I loved is that the classes are like interchangeable. So at any point you're not like locked to a certain class. You can just switch it out like any mission, which is incredible. Like I hate being tied to a class sometimes in games because it's like, oh, I want to be the tank, like they look so cool, or oh, I want to be the healer, but or whatever, but you can swap out like anytime, which is awesome.
Yeah, and that was really exciting, like a lot more versatility. And it didn't really seem like, at least from the trailer or the information we got, it's not, you aren't locked to leveling each one of those classes either. You're kind of just continuing in the story and going and getting little pieces of gear that might affect them a little bit. But aside of that, like it didn't seem really level based, which I thought was kind of cool too. So let's move on. Yeah. We've got the Microsoft conference, man. Oh my God, there's just so much in this. So at the beginning of the conference, they're like, hey, we're going to release, announce these 50 things, 18 exclusives, and announce a couple more surprises in between. And we're like, it sounds like a bold statement. That's a lot of stuff to cover. I don't know if you guys have enough time for that. Sure enough, man, they brought it. They really brought it. And that conference was a lot of fun to watch because it kept going. Like, it didn't have these pauses. Like, people went into Microsoft, and after just having that terrible EA presentation, like, this was like a breath of fresh air. It was like a new day, a new experience. It was a lot of fun. Like, Microsoft, for me, won E3 by a lot in terms of just their presentation and what they brought.
In my opinion, they won too, because like previous years, it's like they were just always a step behind PlayStation, but they really brought it, like on top of the IP acquisitions you mentioned earlier and stuff like that. Like, they had actual surprises from first party and third party, and just the way that they were presenting stuff was just on point. I really loved it.
Yeah, and that was the big thing that changed this year. Like, when we were talking about it during our shows, we were like, a lot of these companies actually brought surprises, which is good because it wasn't just stuff that was randomly leaked or anything like that beforehand. So we kind of had an idea something was coming. No, there was a lot of stuff that we got. Like, it was like straight up surprises. We're like, whoa, dude, that's a big deal. Like, Battletoads, for example. It's like, I'll speak for Potato Club on this one. Like, Battletoads, man. I haven't played Battletoads since I was a kid.
What did they ever make another Battletoads other than like the original Nintendo?
No, one? That's why this is a big deal, because
so
they
like that's a oh my god.
Yeah, there's like a 20 some odd year gap between these games.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So I just hope they don't bring the speeder bike level back, or if they do, making it at least somewhat achievable.
Well, it's like any old Nintendo game; those things were like impossible. Like, what was it, Ghosts and Goblins?
Oh god, I've heard stories about that.
Nobody could beat that.
So
man.
we literally probably couldn't even hold this. Like, we'd probably take up the whole rest of the time talking about all the games that are in here. But Battletoads was a highlight. Crackdown 3, we heard it got delayed. That actually got new trailer and game footage, which was awesome. Cyberpunk was the first conference to hold Cyberpunk, which was really awesome. That was actually the one that had all the hidden Xbox One copies in it. Devil May Cry 5. We got to see some gameplay of that, which was really cool, which looks like Nero is back on that one. So it's not the beloved Dante from the original series. It's Nero from continuing on from 4, which is awesome still.
They showed him at the end, though, Dante.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, he's there, but he was there in 4 also. Yeah. But the main character you play is Nero. Like I think it's his son, I think. I don't remember. It's been so long. Then, of course, we got the first looks of The Division 2, which looks amazing. I'm really excited about that. Dying Light 2 also looks fantastic. Then we got another larger trailer for Fallout 76, although it didn't give us any details at the time, but we'll have to get back to that during the Bethesda portion when we get to it. And then Forza Horizon 4, I am super excited about that. Like, that just looks like a lot of fun. I played Forza Horizon 3. I actually reinstalled it just so I could play it here soon. But Forza Horizon, man, like, that game really looks like it steps it up a lot. And of course, it's an open world racing game. It's a lot more than just the track stuff, which is what the Forza numbered series is, like Forza 7, which is the current one. Then we got to see new trailer and gameplay footage of the new Gears of War, which I'm really excited about. We saw a teaser trailer for Halo Infinite. That was insane.
Yeah, I'm a huge Halo fan, so to see like this kind of open world setting for Halo, like especially since Halo hasn't been doing so well, I feel like this is like the right kind of almost rebranding of Halo. Like, I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, and I hope they really bring something new to it this time too. Like, 343 really has to redeem themselves in terms of games, because they did the Master Chief Collection was a hot pile of bullshit when it came out. And then Halo, was it Halo 6? 5?
Halo 5.
Yeah, the 5 was the last one. And it didn't do too good. Even I wasn't a big fan of it. Like, the story was kind of alright. Like, it was kind of weird. They tried to go in a different direction that seemed cool, but in theory, but not executed very well.
Would it be wrong to say I haven't liked Halo since Halo 1?
Halo 2 was my favorite. Halo 2 and 3 were my favorites. Like, hands down. Like, I could play those games over and over again. Actually, Halo 2 back in the day when LG was still around and it was doing local tournaments, I actually participated in a lot of the Halo 2 local tournaments back then. Like, Halo 2 holds a special place to me for that. But going on to some of the next stuff, we got Jump Force, which looks kind of like an anime throwdown, which is it was kind of out of nowhere. Everybody's like, wait, there's this character and this character. What is going on here?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm not a big fighting fan, but it was awesome to see, and for those anime peoples, like, that's incredible to have.
Then, of course, we got to see some more of Just Cause 4. Kingdom Hearts, which was apparently in everybody's conference, apparently, like for the most part, like everybody had a Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer in it. They're like, oh, let's just sprinkle this everywhere and, you know, have fun with it.
I feel like it's like I'm excited for it. I just feel like it's too much. Like, just give me the damn game already.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's cool they're showing more of it, but at the same time, I kind of feel you on this. I'm like, I don't want to see another trailer for it. I'm good. Just give me the game. Like, broski, come on. Metro Exodus, I'm really excited for that. That looks a lot better than I expected it to be. I'm a big fan of the Metro games. I'm actually going to have to replay those through, more than likely. We got a new Ori. We saw the new PUBG updates, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. They're getting on their new Sandhawk map this summer. Then we're going to also see another brand new map for the winter update, which will be a winter themed snow level, which I thought was really cool.
Do you think PUBG is going to live that long?
I think it's making a comeback. They're really focusing on performance updates, which apparently they're doing daily patches at this point.
Oh, they're finally doing what they should be doing.
Yep. So they're finally fixing a lot of the stuff, which is cool. I haven't actually played it lately. It's got region lock and the new anti-cheat systems in play now, and I really want to see how that works.
I was surprised they went region lock, because when people were first suggesting that, Blue Ball or Blue Hole or whoever the fuck they are was like, nope, we're never doing that.
And they ended up doing it. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to make sure people play with people related to their ping, which is region locking, essentially.
Essentially, yeah, ping lock, region locking.
Ping locking is region locking. We got to see a little bit of the Sea of Thieves update, which, I don't know, the Sea of Thieves updates kind of seem very lackluster to me. That was the only one that, like, I was really hoping to see a lot more, like, juicy content for. Yeah. But it seems like
I feel like that game's pretty much dead. Like, I don't know anybody that plays it anymore.
It's like it's getting 2 new features, but I feel like you're going to do those 2 features once or twice, and you've already played it all.
Well, the Brigantine, so they're coming with a new ship. That's at least going to change a bit of, like, the gameplay. So that might last a little bit longer. But, I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious. I want to play it.
Rowboats and brigantines. What I think is funny with the rowboats is, like, when somebody, like, dies and they're, like, going to grab their most expensive chest and throw it on the rowboat and try to row away. Like, so slow, it's going to be like Pirates of the Caribbean when Jack's on that little rowboat.
Yep, pretty much. The other cool game that we got to see was Seiko Shadows Die Twice, which was a new From Software, the company that makes Dark Souls and Demon Souls. And
oh yeah,
man, that looked like a lot of fun. A lot faster pace. Keeps it kind of esque of the whole Souls games, but it looks a lot faster paced. It looks like a lot of fun. Like, everybody was kind of trying to compare between the two, like between Seiko and Ghosts, which were in the Sony conference, which we'll talk about later. Both have their own uniqueness where they could go their own different routes. Like, Seiko might be a little bit more fantasy. The other one might be more, it looks like more historic. So there's kind of some differences, it seems like, so far. The other big news is we got to see the big upgrade in Xbox One Game Pass. Like, they're tripling down on the Game Pass. They want more developers in there. They want more games in it. They want to make it feel like you always have something to play. Like, even if you get, you just now get it, you can go and play games there for months to come, or even years to come. And it includes PlayStation. I feel like
it's just going to become Netflix for games, though, where, like, there's okay stuff on there, but it's never really great.
Yeah, I mean, they did announce a few new games, like, right at the same time. Like, the Elder Scrolls Online got into it, Division, Fallout 4, which are all really, good things to throw in there. I mean, those games alone, you could probably spend hundreds of hours in for just those 3 titles alone. Forget everything else.
ESO on its own, hundreds of hours.
Yeah, I mean, Fallout 4, you could spend at least 200 hours in it and still have stuff to do. Same, I mean, Division, not so much. That's maybe 100 hours and you're good. But yeah, so that was Microsoft. Like, oh Jesus, like that was like the behemoth of one. So we get into Bethesda stuff, man. Like, Bethesda also really brought it this year. Like, they were a close second on all the stuff they brought. Granted, it was most of the stuff we expected. Some stuff we did not. Like Doom Eternal, I did not expect that. That was a cool announcement.
I don't think anybody expected that, man.
Yeah, they're like, another Doom so quick. Why, hello.
Well, I mean, the last one was 2016, right? It's not like
yeah.
But I mean, it's quick in terms of sequels, though, for the most part. Like, usually they're like, what, 3 to 5 years out sometimes?
That's what, 3 years, right? 2019? Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that, I guess that does tie up to it. But yeah, that looks like a lot of fun. The only one I was kind of not excited about in terms of this press conference was the Elder Scrolls Blades.
Oh, I got to play it.
How
That
was
was
it?
the only other game I got to play. It's actually pretty cool. It was crazy because when I went to the booth, like during my breaks, I was trying to find other games to play, and like no one was around it, so I was kind of worried about it. But I got hands on with it, and it's really cool. I think it's like a really passive game you could play and like just kill time with in the Elder Scrolls world. I got to do like these little dungeons, and like the fighting mechanics are like pretty simple, but also um, like have some depth to it. And then like you collect loot and stuff, and you I think you use that loot to like spin in the shop, get better armor and gear and stuff. So
Oh, okay.
I liked it. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean the cool part about it is that it definitely goes to every platform. They want it to be on every platform, so you could play it anywhere. So that's kind of cool. Um, on the next Elder Scrolls announcement, like they had Elder Scrolls Legends is actually we talked about this a few weeks back that Elder Scrolls Legends got a new developer, and with that it came with a new release that's going to be coming up soon, where they're going to do a whole visual rework of the game, which is really cool. And then it's also coming to Switch, PS4, and Xbox later this year, so it's not just on mobile and PC like it is now. Then we also got to see the little teasers for Elder Scrolls 6, which I am finally happy for the first time a company listens and doesn't lock their whole Elder Scrolls franchise into an MMO. Like BioWare, we saw this happen with Knights of the Old Republic. They've basically refused to do any future Knights of the Old Republic because they believe everything they can do is in the MMO. And it was kind of starting to look that way with Elder Scrolls 6. They kept doing Skyrim re-releases, basically, which they made fun of at the conference, too, which I thought was fantastic. And, yeah, so we got a new Elder Scrolls 6, which it's coming eventually. I don't know when, but it's coming eventually.
I think there was a lot of very happy people about that one.
Oh, yeah. And everybody's, like, trying to figure out where is it going to be and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, all they showed was a mountain. That's literally anywhere in, there's
a lot of people are screaming High Rothgar, I guess, but we'll see.
Hey, could be. The biggest announcement, or at least the one I was most excited about, was Fallout 76. I'm still super stoked about that. We get that in a few months, and it's online only. They're going to be bringing private servers and moddable support later in date, but it's not going to be there at launch, which is kind of cool. So it looks like a Fallout Destiny to some degree, or MMO light kind of game. Like you go and play with your buddies, build stuff with a survival aspect to it, and then I think we were joking about this earlier. It's like Fallout 3, you get to go and you got to find your dad, or you find your wife or something, and you got to Fallout 4, you got to find your son, and then Fallout 76. You got to go find the nuke code so you could nuke fucking
yeah.
some dude's base on the other side of the thing that you spent 6 hours building. Like it's like what? A lot of cool stuff in that. I'm excited. I'm really excited for Fallout 76. That's actually been what I've been wanting in terms of a Fallout game. I kind of wish they would do the similar thing with a Skyrim. Like, it doesn't have to be this type of game where they have to go to an extreme, but they could totally do like a co-op, like Borderlands style. I kind of wish they had done that, in fact. Where you could just go and do all the main quests and stuff with each other or something like that,
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. Just to, mess around with friends, and even the way they described it, like it's not this big kind of MMO place. Like they said that you rarely run into other people, but when you do, it's always like a kind of experience.
It's always a player. Well, that too, and there's no humanoid NPCs. The only NPCs that are in the game are robots. So that I thought was really cool too. So like if you run into players, you're running into players. Like I imagine there's going to be a lot of role playing in that game for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
The other cool updates that we got from there is Fallout Shelter's coming to more platforms. We got new Prey DLC. We got the Mooncrasher, I think it's Mooncrash DLC. That was the one that got released as E3 was going on, and there's another new update coming in a few months. Quake Champions is actually free to play right now. If you guys pick it up today or before tomorrow at 10 a.m., you get it for free, which is really cool. All the champions are still locked behind it, but you get the base game. You could earn the characters and whatnot, and that's pretty cool. I was actually playing that last night too. Man, that's a game that brings back some nostalgia, that's for sure. Rage 2, we get to see more Rage 2. We got a couple new announcements like Wolfenstein Youngbloods, which I'm really excited about. Starfield, we got a little bit of a teaser. Youngbloods, I'll go back to Youngblood for a second. That's actually a really interesting like set in this whole thing. Like it's not, you're not playing BJ anymore. you're playing his daughters, which is twin daughters.
Are they still Blazkoviches?
Yep.
So they haven't married yet.
Nope. They're still they're still just the daughters.
And is they're single. Sorry.
Then we got a few of we got a new Wolfenstein VR game and a few other like oddball things, like the funny thing with the Bethesda, I mean not the Bethesda, Skyrim. Like they made a mock video about it, which is hilarious. If you guys haven't seen it, I definitely recommend watching it. It'll give you a good laugh.
Oh, I think that's real though. I heard that's real. You can actually download it.
Yeah, no, it's real.
Yeah,
but the video was a spoof part of it, but it's real. Then we get on to like, apparently this was quite literally the worst performance of E3, which was Square Enix's thing. Like EA was pretty bad, but apparently Square Enix like takes the cake, but they didn't hold it off. Like it ended up being just as short as anything. It was 19 minutes long, exactly. 20 minutes including the outro video. It was insane.
Yeah, I didn't see this one, but I heard bad things about it. Like there's really nothing new pretty much announced.
No, yeah, like everybody. The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, which we heard about beforehand, Dragon Quest 11, which was the only real new title that was in that bunch. We got more content coming from Monster Hunter World and Final Fantasy IV crossover, which was kind of cool. We saw Just Cause 4, we saw Kingdom Hearts 3. The Quiet Man was apparently the worst release title at E3, and I think they actually got the award for that.
Wait, there's an award for that?
There's two companies that do worst presentation at E3, and that got it.
Damn.
So it's not like an official award.
No, it's an official one. They could put that out on their box art if they really want to. It's like worst announcement at E3.
My God,
yeah, that's crazy.
Because it's literally a guy that goes into an alleyway, kicks somebody's ass, but they don't tell you anything about the guy. They don't tell you anything about the game. Like, it is nothing. There is nothing.
His name is Billy Badass.
Apparently, something. And then of course, we saw some Shadow of the Tomb Raider content. But quite literally, that was it. Like, it was all stuff that we'd already seen in other conferences for the most part. Excited of Dragon Quest 11 and The Quiet Man. Everything else we saw in other conferences. So it was kind of like, why did you guys even have a thing? The reason why, like, this one was kind of important too is they hyped this one up for a couple months. They were telling everybody, we're coming to E3, we're going to bring an awesome show, we're going to blow you guys away, and all this other stuff, and they brought it, and it was all stuff they'd already leaked to the other ones. Like, if they had kept all of those out of all the other press conferences and saved it for theirs, that would have been a different story. But everybody had seen all this stuff already. It was kind of like, okay. Like, guy, we saw this already. Like...
Yeah. I think everybody was also hoping for Avengers. Like, it seems so like why have a press conference if you're not going to announce like or talk about your biggest game that you have? Like,
yeah, there's a couple of these things. Like, I think actually next on our list is Ubisoft. So one of the things I know I was a little upset about not seeing or hearing about that everybody kept claiming it was a big leak was Splinter Cell. What the hell happened to Ubisoft and Splinter Cell? Like, we thought we were going to hear Splinter Cell Armageddon. We're going to see trailers for it and everything. But, man. Although there was a lot of cool other stuff that was actually announced at Ubisoft.
I feel like it's still coming. But, man, yeah, I would have even liked like a Watch Dogs thing where it's like it's super early, but I don't care. I just really want another Splinter Cell so bad.
Oh, I know. It looks like they're finally breaking the seal on the whole Assassin's Creed. They're not doing a bi-yearly title anymore. They went with the next year. They had Origins last year, and they're having Assassin's Creed Odyssey this year, which for me, I'm excited. I pre-ordered one of the special editions for it because I like the statue for it. It was kind of cool, and it's set in Greek era, which I am super excited about all on its own. And yeah, so we got that coming this fall. Oh, nice. That was one of the like little swag things for it.
Yeah. I just wanted to show it off. I'll talk. I played like 2 hours of this, so when you're done, I'll talk about all the stuff that I played.
We got to see a little bit more in depth for Beyond Good and Evil 2. We got to see more of The Crew 2, which has actually got an open beta coming out next week, I believe, or later on this coming week. We saw more details on Division 2. For Honor's getting an awesome new update, a bunch of new updates, which is really cool. I'm excited for it. And if you guys haven't downloaded it, it's still free this weekend. You can get For Honor for free on Uplay or on the stores. You get basically the starter edition, which is awesome. You can still unlock all the other characters. Yeah, today's the last day, so get on that. Just Dance 2019 was shown off again, of course. One of the big ones, I think, two big ones actually, was Skull and Bones, which I'm really excited about. Like, it's the other pirate game I really, really want. There you go. That's he's got the shirt. And then Starlink Battle for Atlas, which was actually kind of interesting because we saw Star Fox joining another franchise outside of Nintendo, which is really weird. Really, really
Yeah,
weird.
that was cool. That was a cool surprise, I feel like.
Yeah, and then Transference. I'm excited to play this game. I have VR, and I'm stoked to try this out. It looks really fun. And then Trials Rising, which had a kind of a funny little showing at the conference, which was cool. But yeah, Captain, let's hear what was your updates and thoughts and everything on all the games that were released for Ubisoft this year.
Oh man, yeah, I'm trying my best not to like come at it as like a, you know, someone who worked there and got to meet all these devs and, you know, fanboying out. But it was an awesome experience. I'll start with Assassins. I never played Origins, so take that, you know, as you will. But I really really loved it. Especially someone that's never played Origins. It is a lot like Origins from what I've heard and what I've seen. But there is like a lot of new stuff, like the whole just the setting, the Spartan stuff is really cool. You do have like the blade of Leonidas, which gives you like these cool powers. Like you get this crazy Spartan kick where you can just like kick people like so hard and so far, and I was like spamming that. You can't really spam it though, because you have to build it up. Like each kill, like every kill you get, it builds up like your special meter, so you can't like spam it too much, but you have like all these cool powers. God, what else was there? There's these awesome new modes. Like they're bringing back kind of naval combat, but it's kind of stripped down. Still really fun, but you know, it's like before cannons and stuff like that. So you use like arrows and spears when you're trying to attack other ships. And there's this really cool mode that's like this war mode, and it's like an all-out war between Spartans and Athenians, and you have to like find these war captains and take them down, and eventually you get to like this big brute boss. And it was just a blast to play. Like I played that probably longer than I should have, but you know, they let me do it. So
There you go. Yeah, that's what it seems the most exciting for me. Like a lot of the stuff that I saw there looked amazing for Odyssey. That's why I went for the Ubisoft only collector's edition, which is really cool because if you do it through the PC version, you sign in with your Ubisoft account and you do everything through that. They inject the game into your Uplay account and they just send you the collectibles separately. So you get to play it early, just like they give it to you. Like you get it 3 days early, I think it is. But yeah, like I was really excited about that. Like that's probably one of the most exciting announcements for me that's coming up in the near future.
Yeah, I'll keep it kind of brief. I got to work with the Division most of the time in that team, and I played the Division 2 for a little bit. I really like the updates that they made. It's essentially, you know, same game, but they made it like so much smoother. They have the class system now. You can be like a survivalist, which specializes in like they have this cool crossbow. Sharpshooter has like a crazy sniper, and a demolitionist has a grenade launcher. And it plays so much smoother in my opinion. Like just the way the movements and animations are really helps the game out. And they're adding 8-player raids, which is awesome. All the content, the DLC and everything's going to be free for year one, so hopefully it remains that way, which is really exciting. Then I got to play Starlink. Starlink is you know, the game with the ships and the toys. It's really cool actually. Like I really enjoyed it. I just feel like the kind of toy element is going to turn people off. It's honestly kind of turning me off. They
Oh,
did
so it's
like
kind of like doing like the Disney Infinity route, kind of.
yeah. They have like a starter pack that's like you get the game and then a spaceship and character and weapons. It's like $70, which is not bad. But if you want like a full, like another full ship pack, I think it's like $20 to $30
Oh wow.
each. Yeah, each weapon pack is like $12.
So this game could get real expensive real quick.
Yeah, character packs are like $8. So I don't. It's fun, but I wish they didn't have the whole toy element to it.
Yeah, that seems kind of. I would probably shy away from that as well. I wouldn't lie. Then we're gonna get to Sony's press conference. My God, like this was a really hard conference to watch live. Like, for one, I don't like the SCEA CEO. The guy is just so dry and bland, and he comes off borderline creepy. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's just, at least for me, he comes off like almost borderline creepy.
Sean Layden, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was
I
that something I
muted
was hearing in your background? What was
That
that?
that was the cat howling in the background, like as he wants attention right now. He's being a jerk.
Man, fuck your cat.
Now I muted myself from stream so they didn't hear it. But I was like sitting there like, damn it, shut up.
Cat's always giving you problems, man.
Dude, he's needy, and he's especially when he hears me talking to other people, he's just like gets even more needy. It's just weird. He's very, very, very. There's a cat. He thinks he's a dog, essentially. Anyway,
Cats aren't dogs.
yeah, no, they're not. He thinks he is though. So Sony's thing, they showed off some stuff we already saw, which is Call of Duty Black Ops 4. We saw another game called Control, which really looked really, really fun. The presentation as a whole, though, we'll go back to that for a second. Like the presentation for that
intermission, though.
Yeah, like these, they kept having these like weird 10 or 15 minute intermissions with like a sportscaster style thing in between with these guys that were kind of trying to deliver humor, which I really understand what they were trying to do. But man, it was done to the point where like everybody's like, all right, you're getting to the conference. Oh wait, we have to wait 10 minutes now, and we have to listen to you, forcefully listen to you. I'm just like, I'm good on this. But some of the stuff they showed off, it was really cool. Death Stranding, I'm really excited about. Control, actually, the Control is still one of my favorites. I went back to that. Daracene, it looked okay for me. I don't know what you guys thought about that one. It's like a weird Dark Souls Bloodborne mix game. Ghost of Tsushima also looked like one of the big ones, which was really cool. God of War is getting a new Game Plus upgrade, which is really awesome. A lot of people have been requesting that, apparently. We saw, of course, again, more Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3 was just everywhere.
Yeah.
And we got to see the nice, big, long trailer for Last of Us Part 2, which was really cool. I'm excited for that game now. Like, it looks like a lot of fun.
I feel like they're trying to compete with Doom for gore.
Yeah, there was a lot of gore in that. I mean, there was a lot of gore in the first one, too, though.
Yeah, that was worse than this one, I found.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely worse than this one. They definitely stepped it up a notch. And a little bit more of the realism aspect, and a little less of the, what it was. Then we saw Neo 2. And then two of the games I was most excited to hear about for the Sony conference in particular. Resident Evil 2 Remake, which I didn't even think it was a remake at first. I was like, this is totally different. Like, what is this?
Awesome.
And damn. Like, take me back to Resident Evil 2. Like, take me back to the old school days, man. Like, that looked fantastic. A whole complete remake. New engine, new upgraded graphics, everything. And it's all completely new. None of this pixelated stuff from PS1 era. Which, man, like, I'm not that. I'm going to play it. Just give it to me. Like, Resident Evil 7 or Biohazard, man. I played the crap out of that because I love the new age of Resident Evil. And apparently they've taken that same notion and put it in 2. So, and brought back all the original stuff from 2. So you get all the original story from 2, but with the Biohazard kind of feel to it. So I'm excited about that. And of course, Spider-Man. Everybody's big favorite. Spider-Man looked like a lot of fun. The only thing that has me worried is more of the extended gameplay they showed makes it feel a lot more like Arkham than I originally thought it was going to be. Like, the combat system really, really feels like Arkham with Spider-Man, skin and abilities and acrobatics and everything in it. But a lot of it, like the core combat system, really felt like Arkham to me. I don't know. Did that give anything off like that to you guys? No, maybe.
Sorry, there's a lot of commotion going on. But yeah, a little bit. I mean, it looks awesome. I trust Insomniac. Insomniac, right? Yeah. But yeah, like I saw like your concerns and other people's concerns and stuff, and I do feel like it's valid, but I think it's gonna be awesome nonetheless. I feel like.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's definitely a lot of cool stuff to see throughout those. So then we'll go ahead and continue on. We don't have a whole lot more time. We're gonna go over a little bit, but we did see some of the cool stuff from Nintendo, which was the last one we got to get to. And of course, its biggest title was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which I'm really excited about. I've always been a Smash Bros. Fan. It's actually probably the only reason I'm actually going to buy a Switch now. Then of course we got to the Fortnite controversy with Sony locking the stuff, but Fortnite came to Switch. Before E3 was done, they had 2.5 million downloads for Fortnite on the Switch, which was pretty crazy. I thought that was kind of cool. And then they showed off more of the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which it's really weird they only showed those two. Like, why don't they show the two that everybody wants to hear about instead of the two that nobody wants to hear about? So at least I don't feel like anybody was too excited about the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Like, I don't know.
I'm excited for it. But yeah, I think, you know, the other ones are still in development, so they probably don't have much to show, but I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping they were going to show a little bit more on that. Overcooked 2 looked a lot of fun. I mean, it's just another Overcooked, very, very family friendly game. Killer Queen Black was also a big one. Octopath looked like a lot of crazy cool stuff for the 2.5D like turn-based RPG. Like, that had a lot of cool aspects of it. Then we get to Fire Emblem. The new Fire Emblem looks amazing. It'd probably be the first time I play a Fire Emblem in a long time. I haven't played one in years. And then Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which also looks like a lot of fun. I'm pretty excited for that. Daemon X Machina, that game. That was a beautiful looking game. I'm kind of cool for that. Like, I'm excited for that one. And then we got a little bit more of the Hollow Knight Switch port, which everything it seems like is getting turned into a Switch port lately. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
And if you guys haven't checked it out, I'm trying to post the article links in here too. If you guys want to check out some of the videos and everything for these things, are also right there, all in one place. I was really actually happy with GameSpot putting up these articles the way they did, so that way we could just kind of go over like a recap of what we got to see, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And then we actually had some cool things the PC Gamer folks put together, which was kind of like the highs and lows of E3 this year. And we'll kind of go through some of those, and then it'll kind of be like a last bit of our show, but it's just interesting. Elder Scrolls 6, one of the guys was really excited that Elder Scrolls 6 was real. It was actually being a big thing, and then another guy was really excited about Elder Scrolls Blade. And then, of course, Cyberpunk. I felt like it stood out as one of the biggest games, I think, for E3 this year. By far, people actually got to see gameplay, which they didn't really release a whole lot to the public, which was kind of interesting because it was just a behind closed doors demo. I don't know. Did you get to touch the Cyberpunk demo?
Oh no, there's no way in hell I would have been able to touch that.
Oh,
I wish.
Lines are super long, I imagine. Then of course Bethesda had a lot of cool music stuff changing. Halo Infinite is also changing, which is an awesome thing because it's coming to PC for one. It's coming on a new engine. And as good as all of the crossplay stuff has been, like the Halo being able to do crossplay is going to be probably the most exciting thing of the whole thing. Plus the fact is, of course, it's just coming to PC on its own. Like, that's exciting on its own.
I worry about PC versus Xbox when it comes to PvP on that one, though.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, they're gonna get destroyed.
Definitely. And then of course, like everybody's excited to see Dante coming back again in the new Devil May Cry, Resident Evil 2. We got more updates on, like, of course, like Exodus, and they're gonna go through like some of the cool stuff that's there, like Madden. The new Madden is actually returning to PC for the first time. I think it's like in 6 years or something like that, which is kind of a big deal. I don't know many people that would actually do that. Like, I didn't know many people played on PC to begin with, but hey, I mean, if there's a market for it, why not? Of course, we saw the Destiny 2 Forsaken trailers, and the newest trailer for the Destiny 2 Forsaken showed Cade 6 getting shot, and everybody got really sad about this. And there actually ended up being a memorial for Cade 6 outside of E3. I don't know, Kevin, did you get to see that?
Yeah, I saw someone showed it to me, and it was the most random, funniest thing. Yeah, it's just so.
Yeah, there's like literally like an actual like straight up memorial with people like his art and pictures of him, and people were putting like new sets of flowers every day. It was just crazy. And these were all considering some of the highs. So now some of the lows, which is kind of weird. Anthem ended up being on one of their lows lists, which I don't know. I'm gonna understand how they did it, but their team's impression was kind of mediocre to the demos and everything. I don't know if this is just their thing, or what it was. And they're also kind of wondering where Master Chief was, although that really looked like it was Master Chief in the Halo Infinite trailer.
That was Master Chief, yeah.
Yeah, and they were wondering like, where is he? Like, why didn't we just see just that, or more of him, or whatnot? And there's some other oddball stuff that can't, like the Switch. Of course, the PS4 to Switch deal was such a big thing over the weekend. Quiet Man, everybody was complaining about that because there was just no detail, and everybody's just like, "What is this?" But the big thing that a lot of people were kind of interested in why we didn't see it, and it was a couple of games I had even thought about that. Like, what did we see last year that we didn't see this year that was supposed to come out already? Bannerlord also didn't get announced or any new details on that, which was the Mountain Blade Bannerlord. We didn't see anything on that. We also didn't see much in terms of actual RTS games aside of the Gears of War Tactical and the other turn-based RPG turn-based game we were talking about. But aside of that, we didn't get any real new strategy games, which was kind of.
And Conquer is the real win.
Oh God, don't you get out of here with that? You get out of here with that trash.
Count.
That doesn't count as strategy.
That doesn't count at all.
That's a cash grab, freaking mobile game that nobody cares about right off the bat. Boom. I hate this. No, but it was pretty bad. Like but yeah, but we didn't get to see like the Three Kingdoms stuff. We didn't get to see any of the new Total War Warhammer, which was kind of interesting because that's supposed to be coming out before E3 next year. So I was surprised we didn't see that. We did get to see Anno. I forgot that we did get to see Anno. The PC gaming show actually turned out to be one of the biggest shows at E3 that nobody was talking about as much because it had all the other developers that didn't have main conferences. And my God, there was a lot of stuff there. They announced like 50 some odd titles and updates for games that were out there. Like Hunt got showed new details on the new Hunt Showdown stuff. The new Anno got a release. There was just like a massive amount of stuff. Like, let me see if actually I find that list real quick. Because there was like probably close, like 50 some odd different things for this one. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, here we go. NeoCab.
They're just gonna have a hard time to kind of like market it like as like Ubisoft and all the other big companies. I feel like, but they are coming up, which is awesome. So hopefully, eventually, it'll be part of the big conferences that everybody talks about and watches.
Oh yeah, like one of the other big games that got announced there was I mean, of course, everybody was joking about like how many other games we're going to see that's going to get a BR mode because Battlefield and Call of Duty both got them this year. We also got the Cyanide Happiness version of I think it's called Rapture Rejects, which is a 2D battle royale from the Cyanide Happiness people. But the other big one was Maverick's Proving Grounds, 1,000-player battle royale. And if you guys could actually,
that's crazy. I heard about this a while ago.
That's too many people. Hey, if it runs well, maybe CCP can contact them about their servers.
Yeah, but Maverick's Proving Grounds it's also getting a beta too, where you can sign up for it. I'm actually looking for it right now because I didn't have it in this list. But yeah, you could go to Mavericks.gg and you can sign up for the beta for this. And there's also Founders Packs apparently. That's new news because I didn't see the Founders Packs. Yeah, and if you became a founder during E3, which we missed the window already, you got some exclusive stuff for that. It's kind of cool. I don't know. The Founders game, like Founders Packs for games like this, I am not sure about. I kind of just want them to make them free to play. Other stuff. Like Isles of the Nine was another one, was kind of like a weird one. You could buy a Founders Pack for, but the game played like crap forever. And apparently it's got
battle royale. The Tabs battle royale. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, totally accurate battlegrounds. If you got it the first few days, it was free, and I actually got it. It's hilarious. It's a lot of fun.
It's so weird, man.
Oh yeah, no, totally weird, but man, it's so funny.
I mean, it's just like Tabs, which makes it immediately hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's immediately fantastic though. It's a lot of fun. It's actually pretty accurate too. Like the aiming down sights and doing everything is like really good on it. Like I was legitimately surprised on that one. Were you able to pick it up?
No,
I got it. I got it. I still need to check it out.
It's funny. Like it's something I wouldn't mind streaming too because it's just so funny.
I just think it's funny how like derpy the characters run around, even you.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. You go and like you hit something wrong and you just like flop around like like a little like the ragdoll effect for it, which is like, Total Accurate Simulator is all about, or Ultimate Battle Simulator, which is the other one.
Totally Accurate Battle Simulator.
Yeah, Tabs, that's right, yeah. Tabs. But yeah, there's some funny stuff in that. I have that game and plus the other one.
It's just so ridiculous. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of news to cover today, especially for all the E3 stuff. I can't wait for a lot of the stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff that's coming just this year alone, and then like the end of this year and then early 2019 is like a slugfest for games that are coming out. Like October became a huge month, which I didn't think it was going to happen. October became a huge month. Even Red Dead, we didn't even get to see Red Dead at the convention, which I was really surprised. Like, it's a game that's coming out in just a few months. Like, why not show anything off there?
Rockstar never does conventions though, so I was. It seemed like a lot of people were expecting it, but I'm like, they've never done this in the past. So.
That's true. Oh, they did do something for GTA. It was in one of the main conferences for GTA.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. They I remember for GTA 4 they announced the DLC Xbox coming first, and then GTA 5 they announced it was coming to PlayStation. So they did do that, but I didn't see it happening this year.
Yeah, so it's definitely pretty cool. I'm excited. Between everything else that's coming, October and November alone are already like wallet hogs. Also because I did the Fallout 76 Collector's Edition with the helmet. I wanted the helmet.
February 22nd, 2019. Like Days Gone, Anthem. God,
oh, that's right. They're all in the they're stacked
all the same day.
Just give me Doom. That's all I want.
Like you go and you're like, I'm coming for my pre-orders. You're what?
Yeah.
My pre-orders, not order.
Yeah.
Hold on, give me all of these games. Days Gone, I might have to hold off for because of Anthem. Because I'll have more want to play Anthem first. Days Gone I'll definitely play, but it's a single player game. So for me, a single player game can definitely wait till games, the other games slow down and stuff like that. Plus everybody will be playing it. But Anthem though, my God, I'm so excited for that. That and Fallout 76. Like I feel like I'm gonna be playing those for a while once those come out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I think that's it for today's show. You guys have any final words for today?
No.
E3 was awesome. I feel like overall, there were some disappointments, but I was left pretty satisfied with most things. I'll say.
Yeah, I mean E3 this year overall was actually substantially better than last year's E3. I mean last year's E3 we knew everything was coming. We got the trailers for all that, and we're kind of like, okay, that was cool. See you next year.
Yeah.
Like it was not a whole lot to talk about, but this year, man, especially with the Microsoft conference, like I said, like them tripling down on their future is such a good thing. That's because before it seems like they've always been cheap, and we've always heard rumors of them being really cheap, and it kind of makes it's enlightening to see that they're finally changing their ways on that. Like if that's going to be their cash cow or their future, especially the side of Windows and everything, like that's a big deal for them to do. So
yeah,
I'm
they
definitely
knocked it out of the park, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I think that wraps it up for today, guys and gals. Thank you all so much for joining us. Definitely appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Hope everybody has a good Sunday.